I can see it. I just want to make sure y'all can hear us. All right. Thanks, chat. How are you? I'm here with the wonderful Kevin Hearne, our esteemed guest today. Welcome, everyone, back to Worldbuilders After Dark. We are now at 429,000 plus raised. Thank you, everyone. It's an awesome number. We're very close to our goal. And yeah, so we have a bunch of panels tonight. We're here for an hour. I'm going to start rambling if I do this too long, but you guys know we're here to promote for our fundraiser for Heifer. Go to fundraise.worldbuilders.org/2020 to get in some donations and win some prizes. But welcome, Kevin. It's super fun to have you here. I'm very excited.
Hey, thank you so much. I'm happy to be here, and I've been a supporter of Worldbuilders for many years now, and I'm happy to help. And I'm very grateful to all of you who help out, and because we've done a lot of good together, and also enjoyed quite a few nerdy books, things like that in the process. So it's kind of a win-win for everybody, honestly. I like this deal quite a bit. So I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, it's good for us. It's good for you. That makes me happy that when our creators are thriving. As you guys know, Kevin Hearne, author of the Iron Druid series, you can get that at Worldbuilders Market anytime. We also have some of his newer works on auction. Ink and Sigil, which is a really cool book. We're going to talk about that a tiny bit. And then
it's gorgeous.
Yeah, is also on the auction site. If they have not been bid out, I didn't check this morning actually, but they're on there. They're really beautiful. The cover of that is really beautiful. But this is a free kind of open chat, so you guys can talk to us. We're just gonna hang out, talk some cocktails, talk some whiskey. I have some questions for you regarding some of the amazing ways that you kind of describe the sceneries in your book. And okay. Hopefully we can talk about how we've also just been surviving 2020.
Yeah. For sure. I'm so Ink and Sigil is kind of my new thing, and I want to shout out to the artist, if that's okay. This particular the cover artist for this, her name is Sarah Coleman, and she's in the UK, and I love this cover, and I get to reveal the cover for the second one next Wednesday on my Instagram and my Twitter. Paper and Blood, it's called. And so you'll get to see that next week. And I'm so excited to show it to you guys. It's so much fun. And I'm copy editing that right now. So Paper and Blood will be out next year. And I'm so glad. Yeah, you guys have because of the pandemic, I had to do signed book plates for Ink and Sigil. I couldn't, obviously there was no touring or anything like that. So you guys have pretty much the only actual signed copies in existence. They don't. I didn't sign anywhere. Yeah. The actual book. I just signed book plates. So, but I did sign actual books for you guys and send them to you. So there's 5 signed copies. Whatever I sent to you. I don't know how many I sent, but whatever I sent to you, those are the only signed copies of Ink and Sigil in the world right now.
Wow, so. That's really special. That's really exciting to hear. Besides the one that's an option, whenever we have multiple copies, we want to make things accessible. So there are also copies in the prize draw that you guys can win. It is a beautiful cover. It's got that kind of satiny feel to it. It's really nice. And speaking of that, I am just curious. So let me pull up some stuff I had written about it. There's a lot of kind of this I didn't write a word to describe this, but this really beautiful descriptions of the way ink and paper and just, it's very fantastical. Of course, all of your writing has this quality to it, but is that an actual hobby that you go through in life? Because it's really descriptive.
Yeah, I used to be an art major, believe it or not, way back when. So I've kind of always had this thing for paper. Like I've been very aware of how paper will take ink. Some of it will bleed, some of it will really take it well and keep it, let it lay there, nice and matte. Some ink has like some shading to it when it dries, so you get little variations of the color. Some of it has a sheen because there's fun little glittery bits or something lustrous in the ink recipe. There's so many things that can be done with ink. There are literally thousands of ink recipes, and I bought a book full of them. There's like ridiculous ways to blow yourself up accidentally trying to make. Yes, there's so many ink recipes. Because if you think about it, I mean, for the longest time until fairly in our lifetimes, you were going to be using ink some way to communicate with other folks in using the written word. Some way, somehow, there's ink involved, even if it's like a typewriter, ribbon, whatever. You've got ink going on, and so there's all these different formulas out there, and it used to be kind of dangerous. They would be boiling linseed oil, and the stuff could flare up. And, so there's all these laws in Europe about how you had to, if you're going to be making ink, you had to make it outside the city walls because places burned down as they were trying to boil the oil to make the binding and all that for the ink. So I kind of went into this deep rabbit hole of research. A lot of it didn't make it into the actual book, but I loved it. And I still to this day, I just love really nice paper and how the pen will feel as it scratches across it, in a movie, if they're doing one of those period pieces and you see somebody writing a letter and they just close up on somebody's fountain pen or the pen that they've dipped into ink and then scratch on the paper. Have you ever seen those shots? Those really close-ups? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Those are like my favorite parts. I'm like, oh yeah, Keira Knightley's in it too, but I'm really here for the letter writing. That's great. I love that stuff.
Yeah, so, that I'm gonna say that's a much more satisfying answer than I could have ever asked for. And also, I bet our executive director, Gray, he definitely loves like pen and ink stuff. So I'm sure he's very jealous right now, as he should be.
Oh, so fun. Yeah. I love all that stuff. And I see people in the chat. By the way, I just want to say hello to everybody in the chat. I can't respond to you in the chat because I don't have a Twitch account, so they won't let me respond to you, but I can say hi back, in the video part. So I see some of you are actually talking about different, what you're drinking and stuff like that. And that's cool. I'm going to show you guys an amazing bottle of bourbon. You ready? Watch out. Here we go. Oh my God. It's called Rhetoric. Look at that thing. 25 years old, gold embossed, like there's actual texture to the label. So you purr as you pet it. And it's wonderful. And I have opened it. It doesn't look like I did, but I did open it and take a shot. And so good. So I'm saving it for special occasions. And this is special, but I'm not drinking tonight. So there you go. I just wanted to show you that this is a thing that exists in the world.
Yeah, I did get to see it a little bit and immediately queued it up in my Google to order right after you showed us. But what are you drinking right now, Kevin?
Oh, actually, right now I'm drinking a non-alcoholic beer. I'm not actually drinking this evening except sort of socially with y'all. But that's what I got going on. How about you? What you got?
I am drunk. No, I have, I made a little hot cocoa and I put a little bit of Bailey's and bourbon in it. So just a little treat for myself.
Oh, hey, somebody's drinking Elijah Craig with blood orange syrup. That's nice.
Ooh.
That's very good. I went to one of the coolest things I did last year. No, I'm sorry. It was this year. Okay, this is one of the coolest things I did this year. It was in February, right before the pandemic basically hit. I mean, COVID was obviously already going around, but we just didn't realize it yet. So I was on tour for A Blight of Black Wings, and I got to go to Kentucky, and I got to take a tour of the Woodford Reserve Distillery outside of Lexington. Oh my God, it was so fun, so cool.
So did you get to you did tastings probably while you were there?
Oh yes, I did.
Is there a difference between, like while you're at the facility to like what you can get?
Yes, they have things at the distillery that are not, widely distributed for public consumption. More, they do some experimental things, and then they do smaller batch stuff that they sell just at the distillery. And they had this a double oaked that I really ate. I was always kind of wondering, what does double oaked mean? So it just mean more woody, and what it is that they take, how they age it in barrels. Well, what they do is they fire the barrels. They actually set them on fire for a little while, and they do it at different temperatures, and it basically does different things to the wood, and then imparts therefore different flavors to the bourbon. And so double oaked is so good. Oh my gosh! And it's.
Can you describe the flavor? Is it a little like?
You're going to get, so the regular Woodford Reserve bourbon is probably my go-to just in terms of here's a lovely base, a base bourbon that's really good. So the double oaked takes that and it smooths it out a little bit, and it's also a little bit sweeter. There's a few more sugars in there, a little bit more vanilla, maybe edging towards caramel and butterscotch. It's cover your ears because I'm going to purr again. It is all right. So very, very,
like
very
heavy
good.
breathing over here.
Yeah, and it's not that much more expensive. Like I think they charge an extra $10 or something like that for it, and it's so worth it. It's really good. You're getting your money's worth on that particular one. So, but they also had bitters there, like different flavors of bitters. So I got like a little 5-pack of bitters. They had some cherry ones, chocolate bitters. And they also had orange bitters, stuff like that. So I've been making really interesting old fashions and Manhattans with them. And loving it. It's great.
We have a really cool, we have quite a few distilleries because I'm in Wisconsin, which is like one of the drinking capitals of the world. But we have this really cool northern distillery that also has bitters. So this has been kind of the first year I've been playing around with those real delectable like specialty oranges, and there's this one called a Jamaican Blend. It has kind of like licorice tones, and it's really fun to spice up a cocktail. And actually I could drop this here. Speaking of, if anybody ever passes through Point, we had the Stevens Point Brewery is just super nice, and they wanted to somehow contribute to our fundraiser, so they sent us some items, just like beers and sodas and stuff. So we could always send them to you, Kevin, if you want to try them out. It's pretty cool.
No, I don't think you could bootleg stuff across state lines or across country lines.
You're in Canada.
I'm in Canada. Yeah, they won't.
Oh, damn it!
You can't like you can't even mail me stuff. The province of Ontario has laws against shipping of alcohol. Right. So that's kind of a bummer. But okay, you can't ship me alcohol, but I get healthcare, so it's a good trade-off. It's nice. I was going to say though that there's a thing that's up here that I hope will be able to be distributed in the United States soon for y'all, because it's a crime that you don't have it. It's this chocolate spiced rum. It's called Morbleu, and you have to say it just like that. Morbleu. It is. There's a whale on the label, and the whale seems to be like spewing this bottle of rum out of its blowhole. It's like, suggesting that somehow this rum was distilled inside of a whale or something. But it's this stuff they make in Quebec or via Haiti, I believe. And it's fantastic stuff. You make a dark and stormy with this, which is a dark and stormy is just rum and ginger beer and lime juice. Okay. So a regular dark and stormy is great. If you make it with Kraken spiced rum or whatever, that's awesome. But if you make it with this chocolate stuff, the chocolate and ginger, more purring. So there you go. So I've geeked out about alcohol probably more than I needed to today.
I mean, the stream is called Cocktails with Kevin, so I think we can sit here and talk about it as much as we want.
Okay. All right. I'm glad. I hope you guys are okay with all this. Yeah.
Yeah. How is everyone doing in the chat? Hello again, guys.
Hello, everybody.
I saw we had a small raid. Thank you for bringing in your friends. Aaron, I'm glad you also have a drink. Zay and the Bailey's Creature of Habit. That's true. I do have that on here sometimes. But yeah, so kind of along the same lines.
Oh, you saw me on tour. Thank you.
Oh,
Ember, yeah. Hi, Ember. I'm glad I got to see you too. That was one of the nicest things. That was actually on that tour. Was the last time I got to see my mom. I haven't seen my mom since February, and I won't be able to see her, until the border opens again between the U.S. and Canada. So yeah, I hope it'll be soon and the vaccine gets out there. But yeah, I'd love to be able to see folks again. That'd be nice.
yeah. I actually let's stay on this lane.
Sure.
Because of everything's closed. Obviously, we had a pandemic. I am curious, and I apologize if you've been answering this question 800 times.
That's fine.
But have things changed quite a bit for you in COVID, or have you found they've stayed pretty similar to before?
Well,
I guess as an author.
The book business is really different because, like, for example, we would get it, like if somebody's book is coming out, publishers like to send advance reader copies to folks, and they still do that electronically, but they don't do it in print anymore. So that has affected me. Yeah, they don't do that because they have limited number of people for shipping. They're following safety protocols, so they have reduced staff and extra space and all this stuff, and so they don't ship ARCs anymore, print ARCs. It's all ebook now for that, and that has bummed me out because I'm not really good with the ebook thing. I prefer paper and ink, glue, and so. That is one big change for me. But otherwise, since I was already sort of working at home writing anyway, that part wasn't really a change for me. But yeah, I've got my kids home now, taking classes at university remotely. So that's a bit different. And so yeah, of course there's the day-to-day stuff. You don't get to go write in cafes anymore. You don't get to go hang out at the bar and write or whatever you wanted to do. You can't really hang out anywhere except your place to write. So that's been a change. But I'm still luckily employed. Thank you guys for reading my books so that I get to continue
#,
to
keep Kevin employed.
yeah. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. So yeah, that's been the deal for me. And my wife is a personal trainer, and she's been training folks online. So because we can't do it in person anymore. So yeah, that's the big change, I guess. So.
Yeah. Before things were crazy, I'm curious about your travels because again, the way that you write it's so present, and the way you describe scenery, it's just so like it's captured like a real life experience. And of course, it's obvious, like from early Iron Druid, Arizona, that's obviously where you're from, but Glasgow comes up, and the way you write it, I mean, I've been to Glasgow, I love it. And it's permeated like into the page when you're reading it, guys. I'm telling you, please check out his Kevin's new books. But is Glasgow a place that you visited or you had, or was that recent?
Yeah, I did visit Glasgow, and there's actually a friend of mine who I give him a shout out in the acknowledgement. His name's Stu West, and he lives here in Ottawa, but he's from Glasgow and goes back every year to see his parents and so on. So he was kind of my language coach on how to do the Scots language, or accurately. Specifically the Ouija accent, the Glaswegian accent. And so, and then I went there, Stu and Amal basically told us where to go in Glasgow, what things to see and so on. So I like to do that when I'm writing urban fantasy, since a lot of my fantasy stuff is really fantastical, it's kind of crazy. I like to anchor that in a real world setting so that people will recognize it and say, yeah, this is a real thing, and I can actually go and visit that place, and then the fantasy is a little bit easier to accept. because it is anchored in a real place. And so I try to make those places as real as possible, where just fictional events occur. And that's been a lot of the fun for me is to imagine, what if magic was in our world? That'd be fun.
What kind of guides you into the places, like the settings that you choose?
I try to I go to places that are interesting but are not the typical ones, like the gigantic cities that everybody is always writing about or setting things there, like New York and LA. Those are wonderful cities, but it's been done a lot and continues to be done a lot, and it's been done for good reason. They're great cities. But there are lots of other places that you can visit via fiction and vicariously, visit Arizona if you're never going to otherwise, and so I want to give people that experience of what it's like there from somebody who grew up there. And 40 years of my life were in Arizona. So, and then whenever I go to a place that I need to research for the Iron Druid books, because, there's a little bit of a globe-trotting element to some of it, I try to actually visit the places that show up in the books and represent them accurately. So anybody who's from there would be like, oh, yep, he got that right. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do anyway. Hopefully I'm semi-successful.
Did you get to try the booze in Glasgow?
Oh, yes. I went into a pub there that had a whiskey menu of over 150, just Scotch, and then they're like, well, there's some Irish stuff too, but here's the Scotch menu, and it's, and so that was fantastic. But even better than just, giving you this menu of too much stuff, they start to ask you, they're really experts, and they ask you, what kind of flavors do you like? And what do you look for in a whiskey and so on? And then they can suggest, kind of guide you in some things to try. So that was fantastic. I love that. The Glasgow necropolis is amazing. And a lot of people don't know this about Glasgow, but it was just like this hub, like all of the New World tobacco went to Glasgow first and then went to the rest of Europe from there. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, Glasgow was like the center of tobacco merchants, like all this money and cancer flew through, it was shipped through there. And so the necropolis is full of these very elaborate Victorian tombstones and mausoleums that you don't really see too much anywhere else. And it's fantastic. It's all up on a hill too, and it overlooks the cathedral. And the cathedral is Gothic as hell. Like it is dire, just really severe looking architecture, and but glorious, right? And then of course it's raining the whole time too. It was like, oh my God, this is the most goth place on earth right here.
If anyone wants to go there, I'd recommend if you're going on a trip. It's I agree. It's beautiful, and it's kind of like the countryside of Ireland meets the old London. It's really beautiful. Yeah,
I loved it there. We got to go up to the Highlands a little bit, and that was bucolic as heck. We actually went to Loch Ness, took a little tour, all that kind of thing. That was lovely too. We loved it. We want to go back. I'm hoping that if you guys like this series, I get to write more. So that's kind of, please read it. And so I get to write more of these. And then I would like to write about the Hebrides, like the islands where they do the Islay scotches, the really peaty stuff. But there's some interesting mythology in that area that's specific to that area, and it doesn't occur anywhere else in the world. Which is a cool, like a lot of mythologies will kind of duplicate themselves. Yeah. Like there's goddesses or gods of the hunt in many, many cultures, right? There's gods of thunder in many, many cultures. But this one little area of Scotland has some critters that don't occur in any other mythology anywhere. And I love it. And I want it. So I want to set something there because, I don't think anybody's done a novel about it yet. So that's going to be my research trip, when and if we're on the other side of the pandemic here. So.
I know you mentioned to me before the stream, are you allowed to talk about it? Some possible continuations with the ink and sigil?
Yeah. Actually, I did want to tell you guys about this. So the second book is called Paper and Blood. And I'm revealing the cover next week on Wednesday. So, and that'll be my 50th birthday. That's my 50th birthday present is I
Oh,
get to
happy
reveal a cover
birthday.
for my 18th book. So yeah, thank you. And yeah, it's beautiful stuff. It's done by the same artist who did Ink and Sigil. And I'm excited to show you guys. And so it'll be on my Instagram. And then if you don't mind, like I want to tell everybody about the Instagram thing I'm going to be doing next week. Okay, so I have these sheets for Subterranean Press. They're signature sheets. Okay, I don't know how well this is going to show up. This is for Trapped, my 5th Iron Druid book. Oh, I keep doing this the wrong way. So you can kind of see this. Like there's some. We got a woman with a pretty severe looking weapon here. We've got some more some people with some spears and whatever. We got a critter with a lot of teeth. So this is the signature sheet that goes into the signed copy, the hardcover copy of Trapped that'll be coming out from Subterranean Press. They're signed and numbered limited editions. So what I have to do is sign like 1,000 of these things, and it takes a while. And so what I do is I do live streams on my Instagram channel. So, and I just sign those, and then I just chat with you all about whatever you want to chat about. And so I'll be doing that all next week, starting on Monday, because I have to get these done, and I'll probably do it in the afternoons, Eastern time. So that might be late morning if you're on the West Coast or something like that. And the way that works out, let me show you just how this works out. A sheet like that I just showed you. This is the hardcover copy that Subterranean Press did of Hounded. They have their own artwork and everything. They're just gorgeous. So so that copy that I sign it, and then it goes in there, and there you go. So you can see that you'll have a signed, and then also a number. And so you have a rare limited edition. These are actually sold out now, and I think people are selling them for ridiculous amounts of money on eBay because they're all sold out. So if you want to get the others from Subterranean Press, they have Hexed and Hammered already out, and I think you can get those still. And then Tricked, you could still pre-order. They haven't come out with it yet, but it's going to be shipping very soon. And then Trapped is on the way as well. So, yeah, if you guys ever wanted hardcovers of the Iron Druid Chronicles, you can get them from Subterranean Press. Yeehaw! So,
thank you, Kevin. And
yeah, thank you.
Captain Macbeth, thank you for dropping Kevin's Instagram. Join him on, you said next Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday. Well, Wednesday is going to be my cover reveal. But in terms of doing these little live stream things, I'll be doing them pretty much every day until I'm done with signing all my sheets. And I'm going to probably do it around 1 p.m. Eastern each day and so that'll be for an hour. And because that's as long as they let you live stream. So I'll just do an hour a day until I'm done with all my sheets. And I did this before with something I was signing for this. This is my science fiction thing, Question of Navigation. It'll be out in January from Subterranean Press, and you can pre-order that now. And what I was doing earlier, about a month ago, is I was signing sheets for this. And that was a lot of fun. I actually had a great time doing hangouts with folks. It was a great way to spend time.
This is one that I'm a little more unfamiliar with. I was hoping you might speak a little bit more about that Questions of Navigation. It's a little bit unlike your other work. Yeah,
this is my first science fiction ever. And I'll show you this cover again because it's so fun. It's like this 90s, it's got this 90s campy horror vibe to it. So let me see if I can make that. See, this girl's a little creepy, and she's got some stuff going on in her skull. And anyway, it is a lot of fun. I had a great time doing this. There is a little bit of a horror aspect to it because the aliens look at us as a bit lower on the food chain. And so that aspect is there. But it's also a lot of fun too, because I can't seem to write straight, serious novels. I always have some element of humor in there that kind of creeps in no matter what I do. So, yeah, I hope you guys dig it. I had a blast writing it, and again, if you guys wind up liking stuff, then that means I just get to write more down the road. So, there you have it. I'm let me see here. Yes, so I'm looking at the chat really quickly. I hope I'm not missing anybody's comments or questions here. But hi, everybody, and thank you for joining us. Yay!
Yeah, I was just looking too. But hello, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Julia stopped by. Hello, Julia, for the moment you could stop by.
Oh, the question just came up. Is Subterranean Press the main place to get signed copies? It is a place. Subterranean is the one that does the signed limited editions of hardcovers. If you want to get signed copies of the rest of my stuff, like the paperbacks of anything, the Iron Druid, the whole Iron Druid series, the Seven Kennings, the Tales of Pell, Worldbuilders Market has it. They have signed copies, and of course, your proceeds, if you buy from Worldbuilders Market, it benefits Worldbuilders. So you're basically donating to charity and getting signed books directly from them if you would like. So, oh, and then Captain Macbeth, thank you. Yeah, I've got merchandise there too. I have a couple of coffee mugs in the merchandise store. I've got the Iron Druid replica necklaces that are official. I've got all kinds of good stuff sitting in there that all benefits Worldbuilders. So if you wanted to get signed copies or anything like that, please visit Worldbuilders Market and they'll hook you up. They'll ship anywhere in the world.
Thank you. Yeah. That was a much better pitch than mine. I am curious because, as you said, you do kind of humorous writing. There's definitely a whole new level to that in the Tales of Pell. I wonder what it was like between you and co-author Delilah Dawson. For those of you who haven't checked into that, it's a really cool series. It's hilarious. What was that like, writing humor with another author back and forth?
Oh gosh, it was so much fun. I don't know that it would work, with everybody, but Delilah and I were already friends, and I think that was kind of key to making it work, because we just we're also fans of each other's writing. So we're sort of we're fans and friends at the same time, kind of thing. So I'm always impressed by the things that Delilah does, and love to see. And I think she's funny as hell. She's so good at puns. And in fact, in a lot of the dirty stuff that's in Kill the Farm Boy, that was Delilah. That was not me. And she's kind of like shocked me, like, and then I'm like, oh my God, Delilah, how do I follow this? Because what we would do is we would switch chapters back and forth.
Okay, I was curious on that.
So it was a little bit like we had a vague outline of what was going to happen and where things were headed. And we knew that something had to happen, a certain thing had to happen along the way in each chapter, but the execution was going to be completely mysterious. We also had this set of characters, but we didn't own them, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm not going to be the one who only writes this particular character. So though that character could get written by either one of us, right? So for example, Fia was a warrior who Delilah created, but I wound up writing Fia's first chapter. And so I developed a lot of Fia's character. And then I made up the Dark Lord Toby, because I just thought it was kind of funny that his name is Toby and he's supposed to be a Dark Lord. And but then Delilah wound up writing his first chapter and gave a lot of his character some flesh and blood. So and I loved that process of us working together and sharing the characters between us. And then it was this game of improv, a little bit. I was writing to entertain her, and she was writing to entertain me, and hopefully everybody else is entertained along the way. So it was a great time.
I would be so excited to receive that via mail or email to read that next chapter.
Yeah, that was the best thing. I was like, oh my God, I get to read a new chapter and laugh. This is going to be great. So yeah, it was a good time. Loved it.
Yeah, I did see, this is kind of random. I think I saw you post on, it might have been Instagram or Twitter, about something about your neighbor's dog.
Oh yeah.
And we all love dogs on this show.
Yeah. Well, this my neighbor's got a rescue dog.
Okay.
And her name is Mika. She hadn't necessarily been abused, but more abandoned, and she had puppies, and they found her living underneath somebody's porch, and she had basically nursed them too long, and she had become very emaciated because she was using up everything to try to keep her puppies alive. So she is gaining weight now, and she's getting better, and she's sweet as heck. I love this dog. She's so chill. and doesn't really bark a lot either. Just super nice to be around. Very, very sweet. So, and like we're all excited because now if the neighbors go on a vacation, we get to take care of Mika. So we're very excited about that.
Shout out to Mika if you're in the chat.
Yeah.
We love you.
Hey, Mika. Yeah. So we're very, very excited about the new addition to our neighbors over there. And I mean, and they just love dogs. I mean, in fact, our neighbor Derek, he's allergic to them, but he doesn't care. He's just going to take allergy medication forever, just so he can have a dog. You know what I mean? That's how much he loves dogs. So it's great.
That's amazing. Sorry, I'm like slow reading the chat a little bit.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah, I see you guys.
Yeah.
But so kind of talking about just cocktails, I read your newsletter. You're really involved, you're very engaged with your fans. I'm kind of curious, like how did you develop like into this newsletter, into this Instagram, into like just kind of sharing everything with everybody? Like how I guess, is there advice you can give to people? Is there we just started a newsletter. We don't have a super huge following yet, but for me, it's looking at yours as kind of like the gold standard almost.
Oh, wow. That's really nice of you. Cause I didn't know I was doing it right. That's the thing. Like, I don't know that I could give advice because I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just, trying to, I was an English teacher for 17 years before I started writing for, full time. And, when you do that, when you have teenagers sort of staring death at you all the time, you get really humble, because you're not cool.
You're not interested.
You're nothing, bud. And so that is why I don't have I just try to relate to everybody the same way I would. I'm just a regular old dude. So that's all I do. I'm just like, hey, here's this cool thing I like. I hope you guys like it too. That's awesome. Let's share stuff we like. And that's basically all I'm doing. I don't have a great master plan. I'm just sharing things I like with everybody. So I tend to like bird photography right now, although the birds are kind of mostly flown south for the winter. But when they come back, I have an amazing range of birds up here that I love to take pictures of. They're really, I get cardinals and blue jays and, beautiful stuff, goldfinches and so on. And then I also get a lot of wild turkeys up here, which is pretty cool. And especially because they do not like to have their picture taken. So it's sort of a challenge. Like if they see
wild turkeys?
Yeah, they see your car slow down. It's like, no, you were not taking a picture of me. And they take off. So I've gotten a few here and there. And it's been great. I've seen a few elk and things like that. I still haven't seen a moose, but someday.
Oh, up in Canada.
Yeah.
That's right.
I've seen plenty of hockey. So that's cool.
Is that going to make its way into your next book? Is like
well, the funny thing, for those of you who have read the Iron Druid Chronicles, I had this running joke where I was just slagging on the Toronto Maple Leafs the whole time and making fun of them for having the biggest budget but never winning the Stanley Cup for decades now. And so it looked like the last couple of years, like they got into the playoffs and maybe they were going to go somewhere, but then they lost. So I still haven't been proven wrong. I'd love to be proven wrong now that the Toronto Maple Leafs will win a cup, but so far, all of my teasing in the Iron Druid Chronicles has held up over time. But I love it up here. It's wonderful to talk to folks about hockey, and I always wondered, did they actually say A? And at the pretty cool one out there today, eh? And I was like, that's the stereotype, right? They don't really say that. Some do. It is some of them do speak that way. It's not everybody, but
is it like regional, like the more north you get kind of thing?
A little bit, but people are all spread out everywhere. But if you hang around somebody who does it, then you find yourself doing it. And I've actually started doing it because if you think about it, and I've read this really interesting article about it, it says the reason Canadians do this is that when you say A, it's like Americans say right. And what you're doing is you're inviting somebody to agree with you. And it's really almost like a form of politeness, just, oh, nice weather, eh? And now that's inviting you to agree and participate in the conversation and all that kind of stuff. And that's why they say it. That's the theory behind it. I don't know if that's good or not, but I like it. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to say it's right.
Yeah. I get it. I feel like a lot of people in the States also say,
Yep.
No.
It's just a verbal tick. Yeah. So Canada, right. It's A, and then it's or right or something like that. In the United States, every country's got their own thing, that they do for their.
The closer you get to the peninsula here, the Upper Peninsula of Wisconsin, people start to sound more and more Canadian. Uh-huh. And as hard as I've tried, I've let my accent slide a little bit Wisconsinite, and sometimes you say like boots or shoes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Somebody asked if I watch Letterkenny, and yes, I do. And a new season is dropping on Christmas Day. That is your Christmas present. Merry Christmas, season 9 of Letterkenny. I love Letterkenny.
That's probably one of the weirdest shows I tried to get into. It's really good for anyone who hasn't watched it, but it's very off-putting if you've never watched it before. You have to warm up to it.
Here's the thing. The reason I love it so much, people don't even understand how accurate it is, because that is rural Ontario. It basically does sort of break out that way. That he is simplifying and stereotyping a little bit, but there are basically hicks and jocks and skids. And so, yeah, that's your 3 basic kind of types out here. But I would also add in, at least in my area, I'm sort of kind of near Ottawa, right? So there's a lot of government workers and ex-military and stuff like that out here. So we're not, and they're more over towards the other side of Ontario, which is near Michigan. So that's where they're kind of basing all of this. And so you don't get a lot of the government workers out there. It really is hockey players and hicks, doing their thing. And you got your fruit stands, you got the ag hall. There's that whole ag hall episode. We've got it. Everybody's got an ag hall. It's hilarious. I love it. So it's fun. I love Letterkenny. It's great.
I bet if you ask, people would say that people from there would say it's not like that. Much like Portlanders would say that's not how it is in Portland, the show Portlandia. I'm telling you right now, I lived half my life in Portland, and that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. That anytime you got a show that's so married to a setting like that, that they are exaggerating some things, but those things are also actually there. They're exaggerating what is actually there. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's some reality to it, or it wouldn't work. So
exactly.
I love it.
Maybe the mayor isn't as silly as they portray, but I meant to ask you before the show. I'll ask you now. We can put it in a link in the chat. We could show it on the show. You did this amazing version of the Thriller dance. Oh
my God, that was years ago.
Yeah. And we thought it was really, it was amazing. So obviously we couldn't put a backdrop to it. You were singing. We had it revamped with a really awesome beatboxer.
Okay.
Which still includes you singing at the end. We were wondering, could we play it on the stream? Or I haven't seen that in years. So okay, we were hoping it would be a treat.
This could be a treat. This could also be a nightmare for the rest of you going forward. So you're going to be warned.
And we're all that matters.
All right. Yeah, go for it. You can play it in here somehow.
Hearne, the author of
Gray will play it for us, Gray.
Okay.
And he's playing it right now. So I think that we're just
Worldbuilders, because you have generously donated $550,000. I will be doing the Thriller dance video today, but I should probably put in some qualifications. I do not have the talent, grace, singing ability of Michael Jackson. more of a twitchy walrus thing will be going on here.
And you
But
feel
I
free
do
to
have
react.
an amazing dance troupe to work with
Yeah,
today.
I
We
don't
have
think I'm.
Colts Dance Company from Desert Ridge High School, where I used to teach English.
Oh,
and they are
2014,
right
so
over
6
here.
years ago. Oh my gosh.
Isn't that crazy? How
All right, so what we're going
fast
to do
time
now
goes?
is the part of the Thriller video where they basically have some musical intro, and then at the very end, Michael Jackson starts singing. And I hope you guys
this is
enjoyed it. Thank you
nostalgic.
again for donating so generously to Worldbuilders and Heifer International and making a difference.
Oh,
in
obviously
people's
you
lives.
can't hear
And now
it.
here's
I
the
just
band.
realized
Yeah, what I'm doing is I'm listening to on a there's a YouTube link,
Mhm.
and so I'm seeing that. Yeah.
This is so
I
amazing.
forgot.
This must have been so fun to make.
Yeah, it took me a long time to learn that. Like they learned it in an hour, and the dance instructor is my friend, and she was teaching me for days, and I still sucked. I'm not that great of a dancer. Oh, gosh.
Cause this is Thriller night. I never learned the words because I was trying to get the dance right.
Thank you so much for letting us bring this back.
Yeah, you betcha. You betcha.
The credits are probably my favorite part.
Oh, see, yeah, I'm not at the credits yet. I'm a little bit behind you, but now I'm there. Yep, the credits. Yep. Oh man, that's great. Loved it. I hope you guys liked it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for experiencing that with us. Can you
Yeah.
guys hear us again? Just
Yeah.
double checking. Maybe they could hear us the whole time.
Oh, good.
Yes, thank you,
Yeah.
Kesa Leah. But yeah, how you said it took you like 3 days?
Yeah. So the dance instructor for that was the dance company at my old high school where I used to teach English. And so I was friends with the dance teacher, and her name's Kristen Grippo, and she's still teaching dance there. She's still awesome, doing a great job. And she was kind enough to try to get me through this whole thing. And there were parts that I was just not getting. So she's like, well, you just improvise and you do whatever you want to do and flail around. That's fine. And we'll keep on doing the dance. And I'm like, I like that. Thank you. So we wound up, and I was not living there at the time. So we had to do it while I was flying into town. It was film it, so it was kind of fun. I really, really loved it. And the fact that because I'd worked so hard on it, so I was expecting everybody else to have spent a long time on the dance too. And so I get there to film, and I'm like, so how long have you guys been working on this? Like, oh, we just figured this out this morning, and did their makeup and everything. Like, they're so good at dance, they just like, oh yes, well, this is a basic whatever this is, and they just did it almost without thinking. So yeah, they were fantastic, and so I'm so glad that they did that, and I'm glad that people enjoyed it and donated to Worldbuilders as a result. It was great.
Yeah, thank you for that treat. 6 years later again. It really was great. I need to look at the original again. You guys definitely dig around in the YouTube, because as I understand it, you couldn't have the copyright of Thriller So you just sang Thriller.
Yeah.
Just overlaid the video.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this was a revamp of that, but I promise you guys the original is just as good. So please go check it out.
Yeah. That was a great time. I'm glad. And I haven't been able to do stuff like that since, obviously, you just haven't been able to hook up with the dance troupe again, that kind of thing. But and obviously I'm not in Arizona anymore, so it's more difficult to do that kind of stuff. But no, maybe someday I'll be able to do something like that again because it was fun. It was definitely fun. So.
We have about 10 minutes left. I just want to make sure that there are questions that come into the chat. If anybody has questions, please feel free to bring them in now.
Sure.
I'm going to double check, and our fundraiser is doing well. I think I actually have not, I can't remember the amount that I yelled out, but we've raised some money.
Yes. So Essence of Aaron asks, what's my favorite pie? Strawberry rhubarb.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I have to ask this. Can you possibly name a favorite drink?
Yeah. That chocolate, dark and stormy is actually my favorite right now.
Oh, so the one that we can't get here in the U.S.
Yeah. I basically was like, this is another reason to move to Canada right here. It's this drink.
All right, thank you for that. Second favorite cocktail.
You're welcome. But other than that, I mean, an old fashioned made really well with some like a chocolate like chocolate bitters in there. Or a black walnut bitters. So good.
We do actually have a walnut bitters now that I think of it in this house, but I've never tried a chocolate old fashioned. But with the orange, the cherry, I can imagine that'd be super good.
Yeah, you could basically bring out some other flavors in your old fashioned, start experimenting with bitters. It's great. Favorite word, Essence of Aaron asks, it is bumptious. See? You're laughing, Zay. That is why that
definition.
Word rules. You just hear bumptious and you're happy.
It reminds me of a mix between vivacious, voluptuous, and bum.
It sounds so bumptious is like overly aggressive and ready to fight.
I can imagine a Brit using that word.
Yeah. I mean, you could get yourself into a bumptious brouhaha. I mean, you have so many. B is a great word or letter to do alliteration with. So bumptious just really, it's lovely. It's round. It's full. It's.
Bumption tastes grassy to me, says her black wings.
Yeah. What are the images behind me? Somebody's asking. These are generally pictures of herbs and stuff, but then you see some like little cards and writing. Those are family recipes. My wife basically made this whole little display back here. She found these old windows at an antique store and just basically used the windows as frames for family recipes and some like little oranges and whatever, the little pieces of artwork that goes with it. So anything that's cool in my house is basically because of my wife. she does everything in terms of decorating. It's great. Let's see. Do I have High West Distillery in my life? I don't. I'm sorry. Let's see here. Anybody else with questions? I'm just going through here. Have I ever heard of synesthesia? Yes, I have. Delilah S. Dawson, my co-author, has it. She can see colors associated with numbers. She's
where
got
people make
going
senses. On. Yeah, I've heard of people being able to like taste words and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yes. So Delilah actually has that. So that's I'm familiar with it. Hey,
nothing to do.
What?
Some of these questions are just like, have you heard of this?
Yeah. Have you? I'm glad you enjoyed Poison Pen and Rulabula. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Will we ever see Atticus O'Sullivan again? Yes. After Scourged, he is in Death and Honey. You probably haven't read Death and Honey. Read that one. And then he is in Ink and Sigil, briefly, but he is in the Paper and Blood, the second book in the Ink and Sigil series. He's in it a lot. Atticus, Oberon, and Starbuck are in Paper and Blood. They're quite a bit. So, yes, you will see him again. Mnemonic is your favorite word. That's awesome. That's a good one. Will I be writing any more of the Iron Druid crew? Yes, I just answered that. The Ink and Sigil series is set in the Iron Druid universe. So Atticus will not be narrating again. He's done telling his story, but he will continue to appear in the world with other people narrating. So he's not done with his adventures, but he's done telling his own story. Other people will tell it, if that makes sense. So he's going to be around. Then we have
I see.
Pumptious Taste Grassy.
Do you have an ink recommendation for someone fairly new to fountain pens and dip pens?
Yeah, there's a line of inks that I really enjoy called Iroshizuku by Pilot. And they basically, Iroshizuku is the name of the line. And they're very natural shades. And what I like about them is how well they dry. They're very liquid in their feel, a wet ink, so to speak. But when they dry with shading. And I love that, so that it's not a uniform color as it dries. It's a very dark orange and then a light orange, all in the same letter. It's lovely. So try out the Iroshizuku inks. I love Shinkai, which is like a deep blue-gray. Very good.
Oh, we hit 430,000. Thanks, everybody.
Oh yeah, thanks everybody for donating to Worldbuilders. That's awesome. Let me see here. Arugula is a terrible word. Okay, it's not bad in terms of an actual lettuce kind of thing, Let's see here. Indubitably.
Here's one. When I got a card from you, it was a black bear. Do you have a collection of greeting cards that you choose from when writing your letters to people?
Oh, I buy stuff as I go. I don't have necessarily a collection, but I do have a lot of stationery. And by the way, if you guys ever want to write me a letter, please go ahead. I've got it on my website. I've got an address that you can use on my website if you don't mind sending a letter to Canada. And it's like a post office box, and it's cool because they email me whenever mail shows up there. So feel free to write me a letter if you want. I'll write you back. Let's see. Anything else? We've got some people. Sigil is a good word. Yes. Luke Daniels is going to continue to do my audiobooks. And let's see. Yeah, Black Bear. Yeah, I've got if you got a Black Bear card from me, that was from Colorado, I bet. Plushie Oberon. Oh, that's right. I forgot. You guys, we have Oberon plushies in the Worldbuilders Market Store.
Yes.
With removable sausages.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
We had a We Love Kevin Hearne bundle that was super popular during our Indiegogo.
Yeah. There's a bunch of stuff in the Worldbuilders Market Store for under my name, various kinds of merchandise, and then a whole bunch of signed books. So great gifts if you're looking for stuff for Christmas, but and then it helps out the charity. So let's see here. Do I listen to anything while writing? Thank you for asking. Heck yes. Yes. Okay. Do you guys like instrumental metal at all, or I kind of into instrumental metal that's not like really hard necessarily stuff, but a little bit more chill. Okay. And I just discovered a new band that I've been geeking out over, and so have my editors. It's called Covet. Okay. And it's just a 3-person band. The lead guitarist is, her name is Yvette Young. Fantastic story about how she composes and everything. She was trained from 4 years old on piano and came to guitar later, but it really, because of her training in piano, it really does a lot for how she composes and how she plays. She plays a lot on the neck rather than down by the pickups. And it's fascinating to watch her play. Also watching YouTube, any video of this band playing, the drummer is high as balls every single time. The guy's just like, ha, I'm banging drums. And he's smiling his ass off. It's so much fun to watch them. And he's now my favorite drummer. I don't know his name or anything like that, but he's a happy guy. And he just makes me feel better watching him. So there you go.
Do you have to listen to instrumental stuff while you write, or can it? Okay, I was wondering that.
Yeah, I mean, I can, I guess, listen to stuff that has words in it if it's really old and I've heard it a million times before, and then it doesn't bother me. But if it's something that I'm kind of into at the moment, then I can't listen to stuff with lyrics because those words interfere with the words kind of coming out of my head. So I need to listen to instrumental stuff while I'm writing. But otherwise, I listen to any kinds of stuff. Let's see, who else? Any other questions? What should I be doing next?
We're reaching the end here, I guess.
Oh, sorry.
No. I mean, as long as you're happy here, everyone's happy. I think we got a lot of the questions answered. Kevin, this is probably the most I've laughed in a stream like the entire time we've ever had Worldbuilders. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. And if you guys want more of this kind of stuff where I'm just going back and forth, you can ask me anything. Again, I am doing this all next week on my Instagram Live. I'll be doing it at 1 p.m. Eastern time, and I'm signing stuff for my Subterranean Press release of Trapped. So I'm doing it every day for an hour until I'm done signing the sheets. So it'll probably be most of next week, Monday through Friday, I'll be doing that. So and then again, I also have my cover release of Paper and Blood on Wednesday. So I hope you guys will be around for that. This has been so much fun. Thank you, Zay. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. There was one more question.
Sure.
That is actually one that we talk to, we ask people a lot, and it's, do you have any lesser known authors that you have really enjoyed and would like to recommend?
Yeah. Okay. You guys ready? I'm going to you gonna write some stuff down? All right. So pardon me. The Vanished Queen by Lisbeth Campbell, probably one of the best books I've read this year. I really enjoyed it. So Lisbeth Campbell is the name of the author. Then I would say The Once and Future Witches is pretty dang good, by Alex Harrow, and Alex is spelled A-L-I-X. And then let's see, who else? I'm into reading Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia, and The Vanished Birds by Simon Jimenez. And let me see, I'm kind of blanking on some other stuff at the moment, but those are the ones that just sort of stuck out in my head. I really enjoyed The Vanished Queen. That was fantastic. Epic fantasy. So give that a shot, you guys. Hope that helps.
Per your guys' requests, since our last chat, we will do our best to gather all of the recommendations that our guests have on our show, and we'll put them when we re-upload onto our YouTube channel, so you guys can find those things there. Let's wrap this up so Kevin and I can have an afternoon. But thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
It was super pleasure. Please check out Kevin's work. Check out his Instagram live streams that's been dropped in the chat. It's right up above, Instagram.com/Kevin Hearne / and let's say our magic word, which is Viva Moose. It's just because there's a delay. So
thank you guys so